Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Computer America Show. It's actually our pre-video show here on the program. It's Friday, and we have a terrific show planned for you. In the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we're going to have the CEO of Solix is going to be here. We're going to be talking about the Internet of Things and the Solix Big Data Suite and how that all affects you, the consumer. The CEO of the company is here with us. Sai Gundavelli is here with us. So sit back, relax. Oh, also, don't forget, this is our first time we're giving away our brand new Logitech prize, the Logitech
1 minute until showtime.
The Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. Beautiful mouse. We're going to value it at $80. Some lucky person's going to win that tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we begin 2 hours of Computer America. $30 seconds. $10 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
The Computer America Show is brought to you by Bell Ringers. It's newer than news when you're right there as it first debuts. Visit our sponsor's website at bellringersmedia.com. Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it's Friday!
The crowd always goes crazy for Fridays.
And of course, and just another week of broadcasting excellence in the cylindrical container.
It's called a can.
Hopefully all of you are set to have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know we are. I know that...
Are you kidding? There are, I have my office here, and have it set up with everything, but right in front of me behind my monitors is a window. And out that window currently, it's either Zeus making a comeback or someone is setting off fireworks a day early.
Yes, and
I've been seeing pop up around town all over the place.
And it's freaking the dogs out,
I know. People, it's 4th of July, just blowing stuff up is so American that it bleeds over into, I'm sure, July 3rd, obviously, a lot going on. And then, July 4th, of course, that's when the city does theirs. And then July 5th, everyone, goes out and does all their leftovers.
Right.
You blow stuff up for 3 days straight.
That's right. And that's the meaning of our independence, just blowing stuff up. That works.
Yeah, works for us.
Yeah. Anyhow, as I said, we've got a terrific show planned for you in the second hour. Of course, we have our computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official optimization software of Computer America. And in the first hour, we have the CEO of Solix here, Technologies. We're going to talk to him about what it is that they do and how it affects you as the consumer. We'll be bringing up the CEO of the company here. The other thing that I want to mention is that we have, since it is Friday, we're going to have our social media winner of the week. Got a great prize waiting for somebody. But you know what? This is a first because this is the first time we're going to be giving away the brand new prize. This is the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. This is beautiful. And again, hopefully you've seen images at the Logitech website. It's brand new. It has many different abilities. We'll talk about it in the second hour of the show. That's when we're going to give it away. And so if you're registered with the social media, you know how to do it. We could be calling your name in the second hour of the program. Okay, so now if you have a comment or a question for our guests, and we invite you to give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. We also have our live interactive chat room at our homepage at computeramerica.com. Just go to the show lounge /chat. That's the second item in the pull down our pull down menu. Just go select that. Two things will happen. First of all, it'll ask you, it'll say you want to chat, and put in a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there, and say hello to all the participants, or we'd love to see you in there. And the other thing that will begin to happen automatically is that our live video streaming will begin to play. That's right. You see, not only are we a radio talk show, but we also stream the live video. That means you can see me, you can see Ben, sometimes you can see the guests, you can certainly see their websites, because Ben has the technology now to display the websites behind him. His giant head becomes a little tiny head, goes in the corner of the screen, and then you can see all the web.
Well, it's a big head, and if we just kept it the same size, it would block all the interesting stuff.
That's very true. Exactly. So that's all there. Of course, the easiest, though, is just give us a call, 347-884-8881. Okay, anything you want to mention before we get started, Ben?
No. New contest prize. I think you mentioned everything about the website. Sign up for all of our social media, and no, I think we should just get going.
Okay, well, Solix Technologies is the leading provider of enterprise data management solutions and is transforming information management with the first enterprise archiving and data lake application suite for big data, the Solix Big Data Suite. Solix is helping organizations learn more from their data with enterprise analytics and achieve information lifecycle management goals. Now, if your eyes are crossing, don't worry. We're going to try to explain all of this. The Solix Enterprise Data Management Suite enables organizations to improve application performance, meet compliance objectives, and reduce the cost of data management across the enterprise. Now, here to explain further, thankfully, is Solix Technology CEO, Sai Gundavelli. Sai, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Craig. First of all, Craig, Ben, thank you very much. It's a great opportunity and to talk to you and to your listeners, and happy 4th to you and to your listeners.
Well, thank you. The same to you, sir.
Yep.
Now, I know I said a mouthful when I opened the show, explaining Solix Technologies. Perhaps maybe as a CEO of the company, you could put it into English so our listeners might understand a little better what it is that your company actually does.
Okay, perfect. So we help enterprises on 3 things. Our mission is to help them optimize their infrastructure, help them secure their data assets, and help them to analyze all the enterprise data that they are capturing. Again, if you look at from a consumer perspective, we know data is growing.
Yes.
Data is growing in terms of camera feeds, what we are collecting. Data is growing in terms of video recording that we are doing, our emails that we are creating. And if you apply the same to enterprises with all the documents, videos, images, logs, clicks, enterprise application data, there's a huge amount of data that is being generated. And that data is only going to grow with time. What we help is to help them to capture all of the data, organize all the data, and help them to analyze the data. That's our mission in optimizing infrastructure, securing the data assets, and help them to analyze the data assets.
Okay. And now, although this obviously is appealing to mostly enterprise, I guess first of all, why should we be concerned about the archiving of all this data? Why is it important?
A very good question. So, think of like when we collect the data, you're generally storing all this data in a tier one storage platform. And then you're using your processing to, process that data. But with time, the data starts aging. You may not have to back up the same data. You may not have to plan for a disaster recovery of the data. So as the value of the data diminishes, you can optimize the storage infrastructure. Why should you back up a data that is more than 10 years old? Why should you why should you even process the data when you're, as you know, some of these applications or reporting tools, sometimes they do full table scans, or even from a disaster recovery, you need to plan for all of the data. So what we help in organizing the data, hey, this is your active data, and where you need to process, where you need to plan for multitude of applications on that. But hey, at the same token, this is the older data where you need it primarily from a compliance perspective. So that data tiering is what we do. And like, for instance, an employee leaving an organization, all the documents that are created, do you still want to keep them or do you want to archive them? So what we provide is basically a technology to understand the data and help them to, whether they want to archive, whether they want to keep it on their active repositories. That's where we help.
So, Sai, you're saying that this data is not like a fine wine. As it ages, it gets better. You're saying
it's like a fine beer. It gets useless after you pop the top.
So the older the data, the worse it becomes, not the better it becomes. Is that what you're saying?
No, I won't say that. What I would say is that the usage, if it's a 1-year-old purchase order, is different from a 5-year-old purchase order. So the use case is going to be different. A 5-year-old purchase order that is closed and already paid off, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The use of that is primarily for analytics. The use of it for any kind of a clarifications from an IRS or any kind of an authorities. But a data that is just 1 year old, is the use case is different. So what we help in organizing the data for those use cases in a most optimized manner.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the IRS says you have to keep tax records for 7 years. So
like no data is like there are some things that maybe you want to save your children's photos forever, like that's important. But we're talking about business here, and business thrives on new, more relevant data. So data that's 10 years old in a business scenario, that might as well just be a liability at this point because it's not doing anything.
Absolutely, that's correct, Ben.
Okay. One of the hot buzzwords today is IoT, or the Internet of Things, and a lot of data is coming from that. Is this data growth an issue for both traditional structured data and this new type of data, such as the that's coming from the Internet of Things?
Absolutely. So let me give you an example on that particular thing. We are working with a airline company, one of the largest airline company in the world, and they want to put sensors on every seat and every video terminal. They want to understand how many times in the last 1 year this seat has been occupied.
Oh.
How many times?
I was wondering what kind of sensors.
Watch the video.
I was wondering what kind of sensors they're going to put in an airline seat. Is the ones that vibrate or something? No. Okay, go ahead.
So from an analytics perspective, they want to see, from a maintenance, hey, this seat needs to be, maybe replaced because this seat has been occupied more times than ever before. Or, this video terminal, nobody's using it. Maybe there is a problem with this video terminal. So even before issues from a predictive maintenance perspective, etc., these sensors that are going to be helpful. So this was not being done yesterday, but on a go forward, enterprises are going to do that. Even, tube lights, for instance, there are going to be, Bluetooth enabled tube lights, and the lights, hey, people are walking here, I need light. There is enough sunlight outside, so you don't need light here. So I think enterprises are going to be putting these sensors in every aspect, a cubicle, a chair, or a water bottle, or even items in a refrigerator. So it just goes on and on, in terms of what we can. So IoT is going to impact our lives on a go forward in every aspect, because we will be transmitting data from every aspect, whether it's a refrigerator that we use, whether it's an automobile that we use, or it's a computer, or it's a tube light, or it's even in your own house. There will be sensors, and again, the other thing that's really happening is with the automation and with the way the technology is going on, the sensors are becoming so inexpensive. I would see like these sensors are going to be pretty much on every object that we can really think of, and this is going to create a huge amount of data. And with the social data, what enterprises can collect, and all this IoT data, what they can collect, and all the enterprise application data, and the logs and clicks, etc.
Oh my gosh!
It's going to be massive amount of data.
It's going to be massive. How are they going to
do like that's the thing that gets me. It's like they can collect all this data, and each company is probably going to try to collect as much of their own data as possible. They want that information first, and it's like, Coca-Cola, they're going to have sensors on everything. They're going to have analytics on everything, on customer movement, on where everything goes. But they're a software beverage company. Like, why? It always came to me. It's like, why would a soft drink company want that much analytics, want that much raw data? Like, it's not like they're an ISP or anything. Like, they're just trying to sell soft drinks. Like, is that where you came in with Solix, and you're like, okay, well, these companies aren't set up to be data management companies. Let us do that for you.
Absolutely, Ben. What we see an opportunity is, we are now getting into a digitized world. Enterprises, we want to help them to collect all this data and then help them to provide analytics on this data. And we are working on similar an app store, similar to a smartphone app store. I will talk to you briefly on that. With collection of this data, not only optimizing the infrastructure and as well as the security, now we can tell enterprises who will buy the product, when they will buy the product, what price point you want to sell them. So I think those are the things are going to be very vital for enterprises on go forward. Companies are going to compete with each other based on the data analytics on a go forward. And that's going to be the fundamental shift on a go forward. Companies will know who is going to buy, when they will buy, and who and where they will buy, and how to retain the customers. Which customer am I going to lose? What is my competition doing? There's going to be so much of value these analytics can provide, and that is how companies are going to fight with each other on a go forward.
And I believe Craig mentioned to you before the show that yes, we have the ears of a lot of consumers, and so I would be remiss if we didn't ask you this. Why is that good? Because I think a lot of people might be sitting out there thinking, okay, companies are going to know everything about me and what's going on in my head. Why is this a good thing?
The thing is, I can't comment whether it's a good thing. Let me take it in a slightly different manner. Consumers are providing a lot more data than ever before with the social chats and social amount of information they're providing. Mm-hmm. And enterprises are going to grab it because that's how they're going to compete. Whether we like it or not, Facebook, whether the data that we put in Facebook are the logs or the clicks and videos and images, all of this are going to, there are going to be insights this data can provide, and companies are going to use that, to see, what, this person in this region likes to buy jeans, and he will buy then and when. Those questions can be answered, and that is how companies are going to market on a go forward. So, is it good? Maybe if somebody is, the help what the consumers will get is, they might get better deals potentially, and consumers are also going to use this data very effectively. Like right now, you're using in Amazon, you're using, where's the best price for my jeans, or where's the best price for my shirts. So consumers are also going to use this data in terms of how to best shop, where, what, etc. I think those things are also going to happen. But primarily, again, when I look from an enterprise's perspective, this is how I see enterprise operating on a go forward.
It's really a whole different scenario. I mean, it's a whole different way of looking at things. Of course, this data wasn't available, 10 years ago, and just becoming available now. So now, how are they going to see this information? I guess do they see it on a chart, graph, or is it just text? How do they see all? How is this information visualized so people, your clients can see this, Sai?
Very good question, Craig. So the future is all going to be analytics, and the way we are planning to address analytics is similar to the smartphone app store. There are a lot of smart engineers who are building analytics. We are going to provide the platform where they can bring that analytics on top of our platform. And I think our goal is to be like similar to what a smartphone is able to do for a consumer, provide this data platform where we are able to capture emails and documents and videos and all of that, at the same token organize, and then provide this app store where software companies can build analytics on top of our platform. And that's where we believe somebody can take the sales data, and then they can take all the clicks that are happening on their website and say, you know what, this customer might potentially buy your product, or this prospect is now is hitting on your website so many times. This is a potentially an active prospect. So I think that's the sort of analytics are, when the rain comes, you can increase your price by 10 cents. Or when there is a more humidity, you might decrease the price or whatever. I think it's just like getting the weather data, the humidity data, the population data, all of that data. If you were to put it and start analyzing, you can get very, very intelligent information. Maybe this person of this age might buy my product, or a person in this region might buy my product. I mean, those are the sort of analytics enterprises are going to go after on a go forward.
Okay. Now, I'm not familiar with the term. What is a data clogs system? And I understand it's an old way. What is the data clog system?
So data clocks is essentially, we started our journey from an enterprises, all these mainframes and, all these applications. Those are all geared to, collect, the standard, few terabytes and few gigabytes, etc. Now, with this data, it's going to be petabytes of data. And, the old systems are just not ready to be able to, either capture or either organize or even store that data. And that's where the old systems are being clogged with the current data growth. And that's where our data archiving really helps in terms of unclogging them, providing archiving some of the older data so that they are optimized from a backup, from a performance, from a disaster recovery. That's where our tool helps in unclogging those applications.
Okay, and so basically, what's wrong with the good old data clog system?
Well, you spend more money to software companies. Like, for instance, most of the software companies, more CPU, they're always based on the CPUs you use. More data you have to pay them more money in the software cost. And, typically all this data is put in a high cost storage. So you end up paying with this data growth more money to infrastructure providers. And more data you have, your application performance degrades, and then your backups will take a longer time. If there is any disaster recovery, if you have to get it back, it takes like a longer time. So it's all issues from a cost and manageability is what the problems come.
Okay. So what companies or industries do you see this data archiving going to be applied to? And Ben mentioned soft drink companies. I mean, are there some that stand out more to this is going to be more valuable to them, or who is going to best benefit from this?
So it's pretty much, it's a fairly very horizontal product. We have seen customers in healthcare, for instance. We have seen in financial services. This is a fairly very horizontal product, and whether you have a few terabytes of database in an application, or you're thinking of what is going to be my infrastructure in 5 to 10 years from now. If you really want to take your enterprise to the next level, collect all this data, harness all this data, and be a lot more intelligent from sales, from customer retention, from a marketing and all of that. So it all depends like what you're trying to address. So this has been fairly horizontal. It applies to pretty much every industry at this point of the time.
Okay. All right. So you think it's flat across the board? Anybody can use it. What about are there privacy issues here or security concerns with data archiving?
All this data. I mean, if you do it for multiple companies, and let's say the worst happens and you guys are compromised, do you guys store everything on your servers in in encryption, or what's the deal there?
Okay, very good question. So when we archive the data, we can mask on the fly. That means like as we are moving the data from repository 1 to repository 2, we mask on the fly so that even if somebody intrudes or intercepts that data, they can't really figure that out. That's number one. And number two, from a security perspective, since we understand all the data, we know, hey, here is a social security number, here is credit card number, we can actually help them to mask all that sensitive data so that the wrong people cannot access that data. So we also provide a data masking technology, so that helps in, from a security concerns. And more importantly, with our big data platform, we are now taking all the logs and clicks. For instance, one of the very security conscious company, they want to know what time does an employee is coming, what time is the employee leaving, what are they printing, how much bandwidth are they using, are they sending a lot of important things through their mobile phone, are they taking pictures, any sensitive data. So we're collecting like a lot of logs and clicks and all the different things. So, and then we are able to help them analyze, a person leaves on a particular date, go back to 6 months. How did this person, what did that person do? Are there any things, is he, or she, beyond 9 o'clock in the night, and are they printing something they shouldn't be printing? Are they accessing something they shouldn't be accessing? So with this mobile phone and with this universal access, from their home and all of that, it has created like a lot more issues from a security perspective. So not only we help in masking data, we also help in collecting all these logs and create some intelligent analytics in terms of if there is an issue from a security breach perspective.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the service. I mean, what do you charge for these particular the service? How do you, I assume you have some sort of rate that you charge for this data?
By the kilobyte, I'm sure.
How do you deal with that?
So we have like 3 products. One, we have a free product. It's a limited edition. We call it as a Solix Enterprise Data EDMS, Solix EDMS Standard Edition, where enterprises can download, they can do some masking and they can do some data validation and they can do some archiving. Again, very limited edition. but they get to know what this technology can do. And then the next one we've got is, enterprise edition, where they can, do like archiving for Oracle applications, PeopleSoft, or documents, etc. So that's the enterprise data management suite. And then we've got this Solix big data suite. This is this provides our enterprise archiving across all data assets, whether you want to archive Facebook data or documents or clicks or logs, SharePoints, pretty much all of that. We provide enterprise archiving repository. We also provide enterprise data lake. Data lake is a concept of capturing all active data as well. We make a copy of all the active data. So in the same repository, we have archive data, that's a historical data, and then we have got the active data. And our mission is to help all the other applications to upload the data from this big data suite and do analytics is the whole idea. So these are the three products: Solix Enterprise Data Management Suite Standard Edition, which is free; Solix Enterprise Data Management Suite Enterprise Edition. It can be that's a paid product. It can be subscription model. It can be perpetual license model. It can be as a managed services. And then we've got this Solix Big Data Suite. It's a hardware appliance. Companies can acquire this as a hardware appliance. Companies can also acquire this on top of a cloud, like an Amazon cloud account. Is how we currently sell the product.
All right, Sai, listen, this is interesting stuff. What I want to do is get back to you at the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a break, and then we'll continue on. All right? You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to the CEO of Solix Technologies and talking about their Solix Big Data Suite. We've got a News Test Bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We'll be right back.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number: 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
What? Who's the call holding for? Amelia Earhart. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Brinks Push, Pull, Rotate Door Lock. At our request, Hampton Products sent us their innovative Brinks Push, Pull, Rotate Door Lock. Prepare yourselves for a very clever product with absolutely nothing electronic in it. But see if you don't recognize electronics as the reason you may love it. As you may guess from its name, this is an alternative for any locking doorknob. This one opens the door just fine, whether you twist its lever handle up or down, or pull it away from the door, or push it toward the door. We didn't try, but they do claim that the lock pins are pick-resistant, drill-resistant, and bump-resistant. It's a fairly easy do-it-yourself installation, and the instructions are very good. Bottom line, for every time you come to the door with packages, kids, and electronics bobbling in your hands, a Brinks push-pull-rotate locking door handle can make your hip your doormat. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. Here in the first hour, we're talking to Solix Technologies. We're talking to the CEO, Mr. Sai Gundavelli, and we were just really getting into the products that Solix actually offers. And I think the first two, the EDMS and the Enterprise Data Management Suite, I think we're going to kind of push those off on the back burner, because your big data suite probably has everything and then even more. So if we explain the big data suite fairly decently, then I think people are going to get an understanding of the other two. So focusing on big data, or at least your big data suite, people may not realize just how things are archived. Like, do you collect data on, I guess, where are they getting this data from? Are they getting from proprietary software that these people use, or can you track email exchanges? Can you track where employees go on websites? Like, what kind of data are you at Solix actually storing for people?
Okay, good question, Ben. So the Big Data Suite provides an archive repository for all data. So think like, let's take an example like email. We help in journaling all the emails, so all the emails will go into our archive repository. So think of a situation where somebody is harassing, somebody. Now, if the analytics are going to, predict, there is some problem between these two people, and this can get into an harassment kind of a thing, and an email going to your general counsel, watch out. So all enterprise data belonging to an enterprise will go into this repository. And then analytics are going to play a very important role on top of it.
Okay.
Makes sense. And it's and of course it's Solix that you guys are offering so much more than just those analytics, because you have, as you mentioned earlier, that you wanted to touch on, was you have this app store. And I think everyone listening here by now knows what an app store is. But what's the point of an app store for a solution like this?
So when you collect all these emails and logs and clicks and videos and images, and when you collect all this data, there are a lot of insights in that data. For instance, I just talked about, how do you predict there could be a harassment lawsuit over here? How do you predict, where to sell the product? How do you predict when to increase the price? And I think those are the questions, we believe by providing this repository and opening it up for, intelligent companies, who are, focused on analytics. Again, the analytics for a healthcare would be different. Analytics for oil and gas would be different. And, analytics for pharmaceuticals will be different. So imagine, somebody writing medical prescriptions for a hospital. And if you're collecting all the data and then, look at the analytics, one can come out of it. You might be able to predict, when next year, the flu season is going to start. Which region in a particular area code where most patients are coming, is there a problem with the water in that region? Or, what kind of a medicines you need to prescribe, what age group? And I think it's just new things that can really come out. So when we as a company, we cannot build all this analytics. What we want to provide is a platform for, and companies to come and provide those analytics, be it vertical or be it horizontal, on top of our platform. And that's the app store, is what we are envisioning.
So you're even providing a place that's, let's say a company already has a mountain of data. So you're actually providing a place where, not just so that they can back it up, or not that they can just store this, but let's say they already have it adequately backed up and stored, they can still come to you and try to use Solix as an analytics company alone. Like they don't need the storage and all that kind of stuff. They just need your tools to analyze their data, and you allow them to do that.
Absolutely. We'll help them to understand their data, help them to optimize their infrastructure, help them to secure their data assets, and also help them to analyze with our data platform. So, they can just use our platform to do all these things.
All right. Now, the examples you're giving so far, Sai, are rather large companies. Obviously, you deal with enterprise all the time. Could you give us maybe an example or two of how Solix works, let's say, for a medium-sized business, maybe even a small one, with a company that has very limited resources?
So let's take like a $1 billion company. I gave an example like a few minutes back. They're a very security conscious company, and it's a semiconductor company, and they do design like a lot of stuff, and they're very worried, who is stealing their data assets. And so they want to know every employee in terms of what they're doing, and what time are they coming, what time are they leaving, what are they printing, what are they accessing. It's a $1 billion company, not a huge company, but for them that's an important. And we provide a platform to collect all the data and in a most optimized storage platform and help them to analyze that data. So it's applicable across all industries. Like even like I think of like any even retail store, collecting all the data. I'll give an example. This is again not a huge company. It's a retail company. One of the things that happens in a retail shop, this cash clerks, often what they do is they return the products, even though the actual person not returning the product, they run a dummy transaction saying that this customer has actually returned the product, and they cash out that cash. And so in this retail company, what they want to do is now want to put some cameras, and they want to collect the video. When a particular product is being returned, is there a consumer, is there a customer at that location, or is it only one person? Is it only the cashier? So collecting all the data is applicable, for any industry, irrespective of the size, depending on what they're trying to solve a problem. This is not, again, a huge company, but they're very worried about the thefts that are happening in the retail location. Again, this is another example.
Okay. All right. So, so basically, I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, so you are affordable. I mean, so even a small and medium-sized business can use your service, or is it the bigger companies require a lot more storage, and so they're.
So you do some kind of bulk pricing like Costco, and it's like, okay, we have petabytes of data, so it's cheap. But if you're a medium size, you charge them higher, or your services are still available. Really, just depending on how much space you need.
Yeah. Again, we have small companies to large companies, and this is a fairly very affordable solution. Enterprises can pay, per month as a service. Our enterprises can buy it as a perpetual license. It's a fairly very scalable platform, and we've got customers pretty much all around the world at this point of the time at different price points. So it's a fairly very affordable to mid to large scale customers.
Are you getting a lot more customers though because of the Internet of Things and its popularity? I mean, we're starting to see, we're seeing refrigerators with the Internet of Things. We're seeing, crock pots. I mean, consumer items. Things that are popping up, but the companies that make those things, are they reaching out to you for this type of service? Companies that you've never dealt with before.
We have been in business for more than 10 years at this point of the time, And I can tell you, this is almost like a California data rush, similar to California gold rush. Absolutely. And when we are at a very unique opportunity at this point of the time, we are seeing opportunities, than ever before. I think enterprises can survive only by, analyzing and, this data assets, and that's going to be their competitive weapon on a go forward.
Okay. All right. So where do you think all this is headed? Obviously, you have this whole gold rush, as you describe, rushing the California gold rush kind of scenario. Do you think it's just going to get bigger and bigger? And of course the analytics. It's just not all about storage; it's the analytics. What you're performing here for these companies. Is that just going to continue to grow, or do you think it's going to take a different turn?
I think this is going to grow. I think we also as a consumers, we're going to benefit a lot. I think I expect like a sensors to also be in our bodies, and even you're seeing the Google Glass, etc. Imagine a situation. Google knows you're eating a lot of shrimp and your cholesterol is going up, and it finds a Wi-Fi and it sends a message to your doctor. Doctor calls you, why did you eat shrimp yesterday? So that's the kind of a life we are going to head towards, where we will be collecting like a lot more information. There will be a lot more sensors, and there will be some good things, and there will be also be bad things because of all this phenomena at this point of the time. But that's where I see we are heading. There will definitely be, from a health perspective, etc. It'll also be beneficial as well. As these sensors, get into the body.
So I don't know if I want if I was I'm sitting down enjoying a pastrami sandwich and have my doctor call me and tell me you shouldn't be eating that. I'm sorry. I think we crossed the line. I don't think so.
But again, it's all in, I think, how you use this data. Like, you can have that available. It's like, yeah, your doctor knows for sure that, maybe, yes, you did have a pastrami on rye at noon on so-and-so day, but your doctor also knows that you had one every day the same time. So
and
then your doctor can...
And what's wrong with that?
Say, hey, your blood pressure's high because you're having all this pastrami. Might want to cut back on it. It's how you use the data.
I think people will rebel. If I don't know, I wouldn't. Sometimes you just have to splurge, and you want a pastrami sandwich.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're and I think Sai can get behind this as someone who's going to be hosting a lot of this data and analyzing a lot of this data. It's like, all of this was still happening. No one's going to tell you what data to give them. No one's going to tell you, how to live your life. It's just this data was happening, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, since the beginning of time. It's just we've never had the tools to track it, capture it, store it, and analyze it. So that's the only thing that's changed. And I think with analyzing that kind of thing, you're going to get, you have the potential to save companies lots of money, to save people lots of lives, to save, it's just another huge tool that is just starting to happen.
Well, so what about the flip side of this side? What about governments? Could they use your services, to track terrorists? And I mean, where does this go? Do you have government agencies?
Right, you're just a little ball of sunshine today, aren't you?
I know. Are you? Do you have government agencies using the Solix products? Or
government agencies are also using our software. We have, from very large governments who are using our product. But again, you're absolutely right. This will even get into elections, for instance. Who will vote for me? Or think of if there are roads are being clogged. Imagine, as you're traveling on the road, you're telling the what I traveled on this road to the sensor, and you might. The telephone companies can now say, this person travels at 9 a.m. every day, and he is going to this school every day, and maybe if I build another road over here, I can divert this traffic. Like I talked about the healthcare, just based on the medical prescriptions, you will be able to predict, hey, if I have this kind of a rain, I got this many percentage of patients I think it just list goes on in terms of, as Ben accurately said, it's data. Enterprises are going to capture this data and analyze this data, and there will be some good things and there will be bad things. Is how I see it. But governments are also going to be collecting huge amounts of data, and they will be able to predict and whether it's from an elections perspective or from a healthcare perspective, or to figuring out how to optimize the traffic, or where the population growth is coming. It just, the list goes on and on at this point of the time.
Wow. Well, let's say I'm listening to the show, and I'd like to get more information about it. I guess you would recommend people to go to their website. To get more information, I guess that's what you would. That probably makes the most sense.
Of course.
Yeah, go to the Solix website.
Solix.com.
Yeah, Solix.com. Of course, we have the link at computeramerica.com. So if you need to, you don't have to write it down. Just remember computeramerica.com. We have the link to the Solix website. What do you think? What's the future of all this? The future of big data and analytics in the next decade, Sai? Where's it all going?
So I think enterprises are going to become like a lot more smarter on a go forward, and they have to become smarter to compete and to be in the business. You have just seen how Amazon is just killing the retail industry right now. It's all just based on the data at this point of the time, and you're seeing Ubers and Airbnbs. It's just collapsing the old traditional industries at this point of the time. So we are all going to digital economy at this point of the time. People or enterprises that are smarter, that can use this stuff are going to be the winners at this point of the time on a go forward. I see, companies competing with the data assets on a go forward. And so that's how I really see it. And the three major things that are happening in the industry at this point of the time are A, big data, B, cloud, and then C, mobility. And so all these three are going to play a huge role in enterprises. For instance, one of our customers, they want to collect all the data. They've got about 8,000 folks who deliver stuff to their customers on a daily basis. They want to collect the data. What route are they taking, from their mobile phone, and how much time are they spending at the customer side? And then they can connect that to the customer retention. Why am I losing a lot of customers in this region? Maybe my delivery people are not spending enough time. So, that's the kind of a thing that we are heading towards. And cloud is also going to play a very important role on a go forward. Just the way we get electricity, companies are going to just collect the compute, storage, analytics, its software, everything on a need basis. That's where we are heading. And big data is going to play a huge role for enterprises. And mobility is also going to play a huge role for enterprises. So these are the three interactions. These are the three things that I see happening for enterprises on a go forward.
What do you say to a person?
At least the next decade.
What do you say to a person who hears what you're saying and they're frightened? Oh my gosh, I'm going to have no privacy left. Everything's going to be recorded. And, I mean, what do you say to make them feel better? Sai?
Good question. I think if governments can collect all this data and predict where's going to be my next terrorist act, or who is going to be the bad person, etc., I think that will do some good to the society. And at the same token, we are heading towards a society where all information is available outside. So I think there are dangers to that particular thing as well. But at the same token, I think I can't really see how 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we will be. But it's a last 10, 20 years we have seen a huge transformation. And I see a huge transformation happening in the next 20 years. So whether it's the sensors in our bodies, whether healthcare or doctors knowing more about us and what we know right now. Our enterprises know more about us. You know what? Hey, you know, this guy likes to buy jeans on a Friday, and when you go to a shopping mall, you will see an advertisement more specifically to Craig or Ben. You know what? Ben likes to buy this, and when you're traveling on that, they know that's advertisement. You know, for instance, one of the airline company, you know, they have got this huge airport, and they want to know, as a customer walking on an aisle, you know what, this guy likes to buy this kind of a whiskey, and they want to immediately send them a coupon and see, you know, if they can incent that customer to buy whiskey at that location. So things like that. So it's mind-boggling, you know, what this can do, you know, from to consumers, and also it does create like a, you know, potential risk in terms of the security. But at the same token, if it is used wisely by big enterprises, it can also do a lot of good things to people.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, you know, side, I guess, and be right there with him that you know, having this kind of data is going to be such a massive improvement. I mean, just logistics have improved over the last 20 years, and we're able to get food to further locations. We're able to get resources to different places a lot faster because of data like this, and that's helped people, you know, who are, you know, in need of water, in need of, you know, food, in need of energy, in need of, you know, all these kinds of things. And again, this kind of stuff is only possible through the collection of data. It's a little selfish to think that, okay, well, they know what I'm eating for lunch, so they must want to know what I'm eating for lunch. Really? No, they don't care that you're eating your third cheeseburger. They just want that data so that they can, you know, infer something from it. It doesn't matter that it's your data specifically, although that is possible, but it's just having this data is going to be, I think, a key part in the future of, you know, really just how society works, is having this data and being able to, you know, use it effectively. That's very important.
I totally agree.
Okay. Well, Sai, before we say goodnight, is there anything else you'd like to let our listeners know about Solix and about data and that we might not have mentioned?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity, Craig and Ben. You know, I really enjoyed talking to both of you, and presenting our vision. What I would say is, like, if you have any listeners, enterprise companies who have some intelligent analytics, etc., I would love to work with them as a partner to take them to our customers. Sure. But all in all, you know, very excited about this opportunity from a Solix perspective. We have a very exciting journey ahead. So thank you again for this opportunity to talk to you and your team and listeners.
And Sai, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And again, happy 4th of July weekend to you. Okay.
Thanks, Craig. Right. Thanks, Ben.
All right. Take care. Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. There you go. Solix Technologies. Again, the CEO of the company, Sai Gundavali, here. And again, you can check them out at solix.com, SOLIX, or you can check them out at computeramerica.com as well. Okay. We're getting close to the second hour. We're, again, excited about our brand new show sponsor, Bell Ringers.
Mm-hmm.
And
you should definitely go back, if this is the first time you're hearing about Bell Ringers, you should definitely go back to our, let's see, was that July 1st episode? Yes, July 1st, where we had Marty Winston on, and we discussed all about Bell Ringers, what it does, who it's for, how it's going to work, and yes, even the day it's going to start. So if you haven't heard about them, go check out that show, as well as you'll be hearing about it pretty much every show this month. So yeah.
August 1st. Oops, spoiler. I shouldn't.
No. Wow, Craig, you had that wrong. August 31st.
August 31st. Okay, there you go. That's what.
See, you can't trust Craig, people. I've been telling you this for the longest time. Can't trust Craig.
No, you can't. August 31st will be on the air. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were paying attention. Okay, all right. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are gonna have computer and technology news coming up in the next hour, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. Should we tease some of the stories that we're going to be doing?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, they're really interesting. We have Mike Cermak talking about his Tesla car, and everything. And my big question to him was, well, can you drive from coast to coast and not have to worry about where you're going to fuel up? Evidently, Tesla now has installed over 2,500 superchargers.
Yeah, those are the equivalent to electric cars in the pump. Although I hear it takes about 25 minutes, but hey, 25 minutes on the supercharger, and you can go as far as another one. I believe there's one that there's a supercharged road that gets you from East Coast to West Coast and all up and down the West Coast.
All right, so we're going to be talking about that. Also, Microsoft, the new browser, they're ditching Silverlight support.
Yeah, who saw that one coming?
Yeah, who saw that coming?
That's a huge component to anyone who watches Netflix currently.
Yeah, exactly.
That's required software.
Yeah, and also Apple's new warranty is going to replace your battery before it's half dead. Look at this. That's really cool technology.
And then one of my favorites is Samsung has officially overthrown Apple as the biggest smartphone vendor.
All right. Well, those stories and more coming up in the next hour. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We've got more coming at you. Stay with us. We'll be right back just in a moment. Really.
This is about a cool new way to be the first to hear about new, completely unannounced products or services. The Monday through Friday Newer Than News nationwide Bell Ringers Radio Hour starts August 31st. 4 times on each show, a team of 3 pros, well, 2 pros and me, take the time to tell you all about some new something. That happens over so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. And that same day, releases about that debut go out on 3 major news wires to reach traditional, online, and social media, plus full coverage on SlashGear and some other goodies. Here's what we'd like to ask of you now. At the company you work for or the companies you work with, chances are that the top marketing people in top brass don't yet know about Bell Ringers. Please, just tell them to check out bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at computeramerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And again, thanks to Sai Gundavelli for being here.
That was a nice hour. I like that.
Yeah, it was. Talking about from Solix Technologies. Of course, if you missed any of that, you can listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at computeramerica.com, and you might want to check that out. Oh, not only the audio archives, but also the video of the show as well. Of course, this being Friday, we're going to have our social media winner of the week, and it's going to be the first time we're giving away the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse, valued at $80. And I'm going to be giving away one of those every single week now. So make sure that you enter in our social media contest. And it's
should be giving one of those away here in about half an hour.
Yeah, and again, it's not an entry. You don't enter the contest. Basically, you just go to our social media page at computeramerica.com, and it's easy to find. It's right. It's actually under the first. It's under the Interact menu. You'll just see there's social media contests. And when you go there, you'll see all the different places that where Computer America is, well, being social. And all you have to do is, like the particular social media content that you're watching. For example, if you're on Facebook and you like Facebook, you now have one entry every single week in our contest. If you go to YouTube and like our video stream, now you have 2 entries every single week. You go to the Twitter, you get 3 entries, and so forth. So basically, once you've done it, you've done it. But you've got to do it at least one time, and then you'll have that many entries every single week when we go into when we give away our prize every week. So it's real simple. We've simplified the process, and again, great prizes, thanks to our good friends over at Logitech. And we hope that you will take advantage of that at computeramerica.com. So, anything else you want to mention before we start doing our news?
No. Fireworks are still going off over here. Hopefully, everyone is getting a little bit of an early preview of tomorrow night's festivities. But no. I think we have an hour to just get back, relax, and do some relevant news.
All right. Well, let's get started then. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at slimwareutilities.com is completely free. I mean, you don't buy it and then, 30 days from now you have to, pay them or none of that. That's not the model, okay? Anything you download, that's it at slimwareutilities.com. It's completely free. It's fully functional, just like we use them here at the Crossman household. Download them all. Why not? They're free. And keep them, use them when you need to, and they truly will speed up, clean, and optimize your Windows system. You'll be happy that you did it, and you'll thank us for it. slimwareutilities.com. And in this very first story, well, okay. I teased it first, but I'll save it for later. Microsoft's Edge browser, that's the new browser for Windows 10, is ditching Silverlight support.
Yep.
And you would say, well, why? It's their product. Why would they abandon that? But they're discontinuing so many things. Not only the support for ActiveX, for example, it's been discontinued in Microsoft Edge, and this probably is because of HTML5. HTML5 is so feature rich that you can do basically everything that they do now with Java, everything to do with Flash, they do everything with Silverlight. Before HTML5, they needed these add-on technologies because, well, quite frankly, you couldn't do what you want to do without it. But with HTML5, you don't really need it anymore. And it's nice to see that Microsoft is acknowledging that fact. It makes everything less kludgy, and that's exactly what Microsoft is trying to do with Windows 10, make things less kludgy. Also, the idea that everything on the internet is supposed to be universal regardless of the platform you're using to access it, platform independence, that was always the intention of the internet, but that was never the case. You had to have Windows to access like a bank or something. They would only work with certain browsers, and you'd sit there and scratch your head, and you say, well, why? This is supposed to work with everything. Well, I think with HTML5, we're seeing that happen. And in this particular story, I think solidifies that fact, is that Microsoft is giving up so many of their older technologies in deference to HTML5. And now they did say they're going to continue to support Silverlight and that non-browser apps can continue to use it. Okay.
Yep.
And so it'll be supported in the Windows Internet Explorer 11. So again, that sites will still have that Silverlight options in Windows 10, but again,
they don't want people actively using it. Just like the article said, HTML5 does everything that Silverlight does, and it's baked into a browser, and it's much, much more native and easier to work with. So obviously Silverlight still crucial for a couple, I don't say novelty, but very specific software out there. So they're not just going to drop it like a hot potato, because companies still need that. but they're moving away. They're distancing themselves from actively pushing Silverlight.
Yeah, and I applaud them for that. This is really
we've been hearing a lot of great things about HTML5.
Yeah, and certainly it does have all these abilities, and this just goes to further solidify that the fact that the company that made Silverlight is now saying, we don't need it anymore, and we won't have it in our new shiny Edge browser, and good for them.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Next one. This one is a little ridiculous, and because it's such a huge site, like Reddit has continuously been one of the top 10 sites on the internet, I figure that, hey, a little bit of drama from Reddit is newsworthy enough, because I will say up front that personally, I enjoy some of the discussion topics on there, and there's been a bit of a hoopla been going on for the past 24 hours. Okay. Greg, I don't know if you saw this.
No. Okay. What's that?
Well, Reddit has been one of the largest sites, as I said earlier, and they have a CEO. Her name Ellen Powell, and she is she's not the most trusted CEO a company has ever had. And recently, well, let's just say up front that she has there's a petition that anyone can sign online that I think is up to about 20,000 people right now, asking for her to resign as CEO from Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And this all kind of happened back yesterday, I want to say, when one of the key players, like one of the more vocal and beloved employees of Reddit, was actually let go on the spot. Like she didn't really receive a notice or anything like that, and she was just dropped. And why this is a problem is because she was one of the people that really actively worked with the community to organize and just keep everything well maintained. So when they when they just dropped her like that, it showed a complete lack of communication between two groups of people. The first group of people are the admins or the administration, the ones actually running Reddit behind the scenes, and the other one are the moderators. And moderators are all volunteer. Yeah. Like if you are a moderator, you can get paid. You don't get any kind of bonus. You don't get any kind of ad revenue. No, it's just it's a labor of love. And
you get power.
A little bit, but they try to keep, but like moderators who go out of control, like they can be removed. So it's very tentative. But the point is, these aren't employees. Like moderators are not employees. They're just people who are donating their time and energy to to help Reddit be a form of discussion. So when they released let's see, her name was Victoria. When they released Victoria like that, it just kind of brought to the forefront that there were hundreds of the most popular forums on Reddit went completely dark. Like you can't access them, you can't see content, previous or future content from them. They all went private just because it's in protest. And it's like, I guess it's the point of this whole article is that Ellen Powell is taking a lot of the heat for this because it shows a complete lack of, again, a website that does millions of dollars in a year in revenue and is such a community-driven site. And really, Reddit only has a team of about 40 to 50 people, I want to say. And just one little mistake like that has caused just this huge backlash.
That's not good. But I guess the only flip side to this is that Reddit must feel good because they have such a large audience that they can create.
Well, it doesn't, because the same thing happened to the website that was before this, and the website before this, some of you may recognize it. It was called Dig, and a lot of people, when Dig went south, because Dig did some policy changes that people didn't like, they didn't listen to their user base, and it caused the website to collapse in literally, a couple weeks.
Really? Dig is gone. It went away that fast?
Dig went south in a couple weeks, and let's put it this way: at their height, they were valued at about $160 million, and after about 3 weeks, the CEO sold the website and the company for $500,000.
Why?
Because they weren't listening to the user base, and the user base, because hey, it's all community driven and it's all volunteer driven, they all up and left to go to Reddit. And so instead of being a $160 million company, they became a $500,000 company over like 2 weeks.
That could be really unsettling. That CEO, he thought he had it made in the shade, and then all of a sudden in 2 weeks, it went from that to like.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people are drawing similarities between what happened to Dig and what's happening to Reddit right now. And the admins, the administration, really isn't saying much, if anything, on the topic. And I mean, you can go there right now, and many of the popular forums are still set to private. And there people are looking for alternatives to Reddit, and it's it's all drama. And you hope it wouldn't be, because honestly, like I said before, that I really like Reddit because it has a lot of great conversation, and it's being hidden behind this whole drama that's going on right now. But hey, it's drama that's taking a very, very profitable company, and it in the blink of an eye is running it into the ground.
I still go to Dig. I went to dig.com. They're up and running. I mean, they're there. They're even talking about Reddit.
They're still around, but they're nowhere near as popular as they used to be.
So that instantaneous that can be extremely unsettling. To be that volatile,
But it's a good lesson, I think, for other companies out there, that if you don't listen to your fan base, and if you try to say, if you try to do things without, I don't want to say consulting them, like they're some kind of business partner, but at least throw them a bone, especially when you're socially driven. Throw them a bone and say, hey, what do you think of these changes that we're about to do? And take feedback, take criticism.
Well, okay.
It would kind of be like us here at Computer America saying, folks, we've really enjoyed our time with you, but we feel that Computer America is at a crossroads, and we feel we're going to speak entirely in Portuguese from now on. And all of our American fans, we're just saying, hey, no, we like English, stay English, and we just ignored them. Obviously, they're going to go. Yeah. Listen to your user base, and things will turn out good.
There you go. All right. Well, it's worked for Microsoft.
It's working for Microsoft.
Yes, it is. It is.
It has not in the past, as we saw with Windows 8.
Well, yeah. Well, here's another thing. Story about a large company listening to its customers, and that's Apple. Because their new warranty now is going to replace your battery before it's half dead. Basically, in other words, once the battery of your shiny Apple falls to 80% of its original power, Apple will replace it. Okay. They've added this new feature to its Apple Care Plus warranty service, which, by the way, I highly recommend. If you buy an Apple, you should definitely spend the money, because it will pay for itself in spades over and over again.
Wait, what?
Yeah, get the Apple Care Plus warranty for Apple. You buy an Apple, get Apple Care. Okay, it's the price you pay. It adds a couple $100 to the price of your new computer, and it's so worth it. It extends the warranty from 1 year to 3 years after the 1 year ends, and anything happens to your computer, they'll fix it at no cost. And that happened to my computer, and I had Apple Care, and they fixed it at no charge. So anyway, continuing on with this story. Now, typically, Apple said that it would replace the battery on a device only if its capacity or the amount of energy is able to hold fell to less than half of its original capacity. Now, Apple says it will replace the battery if it falls below 80%. Okay, if it fails below 80%. So basically, This could be a good thing.
That's crazy. You're going to be in the Apple Store all the time. I mean, my iPhone runs below 80% after like 2 hours.
Yeah. Well,
Might as well just take it home and charge it yourself. Why would you go into the Apple Store every time?
Well, the batteries obviously we're dealing with a slowly evolving battery technology. So many things the battery is really the thing that's holding us back from marvelous mobile devices, because there are so many things that we can do now today, but we can't do them because the batteries just don't have the oomph. They can't support them. There's going to be a breakthrough eventually, but right now, still, even with the latest lithium-ion technology, that holds things back. And this older technology, the batteries, which is the oldest piece of technology in an iPhone today or a MacBook or anything, that technology, as Ben says, doesn't work as well as it should work. So evidently now Apple says it's going to meet customers more than halfway. Okay. And this also is important for another reason that you may not have considered, and that is the batteries in Apple products are not user replaceable.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I mean, something goes wrong, customers avoid the warranty if they open the case. So we don't want to do that. Okay. It's not like
I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. But your warranty had expired at that point.
No, it was still active.
Then why did you do it?
Because I like fixing things.
Okay.
Just because, really, have you never been a teenager? Just because your parents tell you not to do something means you're going to go and do it. Totally worth it.
If you're not a teenager and you want to add more life to your protection of your Apple's this protection plan now covers batteries in the iPhone, in the iPad, an iPod, an Apple Watch. That's right. There's a battery in there too. The MacBook, MacBook Air, and MacBook Pro. Okay. The change also applies to any new purchases and retroactively to any device that's still under warranty. So in other words, if you're under warranty, it'll all of a sudden you'll find that this battery support is included. You don't have to submit a valid claim, and that's it. So I think that's pretty much the story. Again, Apple Care costs like $49 for the Watch Sport, the Apple Watch Sport, $59 for an iPod Touch, $69 for a standard watch, $99 for iPhones or iPads, and between $250 and $350 for MacBooks. And if you have an iMac too, any Apple product, you should get the Apple Care, really.
Or, I don't know. Apple's never been my cup of tea. They do have a very impressive customer support service. Like if the only time I've ever heard about Apple customer support, and people have only ever said really, really nice things about it. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people are put off about the whole, hey, you can't open your own equipment, and it's frustrating. So it goes either way. But I guess Apple doesn't want you and your dirty, slimy fingers inside their pretty shiny computers.
That's right. They don't.
I guess. I don't know. All right. So let's see. Next piece of news. And which one looks good?
Tesla.
Let's do. Well, we liked Apple in one story, so let's do someone beating Apple in the next.
Okay.
And this is from bestmobs.com. Don't usually go there, but hey, it is what it is. July 2nd, this was printed. And Mr. T. Campbell, South Korean phone maker, Samsung. You've heard of them. They've been in the news once or twice.
Yeah.
Is back in the front seat as the major driving force in the U.S. mobile industry. They fell behind Apple in third quarter 2014, but that was right before the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus came out. Obviously, after those two came out, Apple spiked back up, and Apple was number one. But now, since 2015 quarter two, Samsung is once again the most popular brand of phone. See, just saying that if you had me answer this question, I would say the iPhone was the most popular.
Yes.
But it was, I'm sorry, it was a close tie
Mhm.
for the longest time, but Samsung has pulled it out again. And they said that the Apple iPhone 6 was the most popular smartphone in the US between April and May when it first came out. And Samsung smartphones, just like the new Galaxy S6,
Mhm.
collectively beat Apple in numbers within that period.
Mhm.
And, it kind of goes into a little bit more detail, but hey, nice little piece of trivia. What smartphone maker is the most popular in the US?
Mhm.
And yep,
Okay.
Samsung.
Samsung. All right.
That's all you got, Craig?
I also wouldn't buy one. I like the iPhone
Why not?
because I like the iPhone.
Samsung, it makes a really good phone. I have seen them, and they were one of the first ones. Because, like, no matter what you say about the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, the larger format was clearly a Samsung original, and then Apple had to follow suit. When I first saw one of those larger cell phones, and everyone else saying that they look ridiculous, Samsung brought that out. The Samsung Galaxy Tab 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That thing looked really, really nice. And yes, it was bulkier than any iPhone I've ever seen,
Yeah.
but it was a better user experience.
Yeah, but
and Apple followed.
I like the smaller form factor, the 5S. I like the 5S better.
You are in a minority, Craig. You must realize this.
I have smaller pockets.
You must realize this. You're in the minority.
I have smaller pockets.
It doesn't matter about your pocket size.
Yeah. Anyway, where Ben and I are doing computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and this next story from since we're on phones, it says that the iPhone 6S said to deliver faster web speeds and better battery life. Now, I guess that the Apple is becoming predictable here because we said, oh, what's going to happen? What's the next one up the 6 and the 6 Plus? I guess it's the 6S and the 6S Plus. They put an S on it.
Nothing wrong with being predictable. It's not Apple's traditional style, but hey, it makes for a better company.
Well, evidently, the new next generation iPhone, they're saying could offer faster web connectivity and better battery life. But it's all thanks to one component, and it's the Qualcomm developed chip known as the MDM9635M chip. Okay. Now, this chip, which was introduced by Qualcomm in 2013 but didn't go into production last year, is capable of accommodating theoretical download speeds of 300 megabits per second. Wow. That's on an LTE carrier network. Okay, which is double what you get now on the 6 and the 6 Plus, which is what 150 megabits per second. So that's it. Now, this is the latest iPhone 6S rumors suggest that it will come out in the fall around the same time as the worldwide availability of Apple's iOS 9 mobile operating system. Okay. By the way,
yeah.
I should put out an upgrade alert. Upgrade alert. Upgrade alert.
That didn't work at all.
No. iTunes was just updated today. Okay.
Are you talking about 12.2?
Yes, 12.2. Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's been causing some issues.
Really? Like issues like what?
Issues like problems with whole home sharing or whole home sync. Lets you play like let's say you have an iTunes on your home computer and you want to stream that music to your phone or something like that. I've heard they've shut that down completely with 12.2. So if you're a fan of that service, better to not upgrade.
Yeah. Well, I've already upgraded, so
well, okay then.
Yeah, okay then.
Well, Craig, just jump right into it.
That's me. Just jump into it, both feet. Not with not a care in the world. Yeah, no, not. But I did upgrade today, and there are some different changes. I understand that Apple's new music service. What are they calling it? Apple Music?
Apple, no. not Apple Radio. Might just be Apple Music.
Yeah,
Why
Apple. Yeah, that's you're gonna need the new iTunes to take advantage of that. And um, just FYI, I wanted to get somebody on a show that's going to really be knowledgeable about this, and so we've invited Gene Steinberg is going to be here with us on Monday in the first hour to talk about Apple Music.
I'd do it.
Yeah,
He is quite the aficionado on Apple.
yes, he is, and so he'll be here to talk about that on Monday. But let me finishing this story here. Apple's iOS 9 mobile operating system is going to be out. I am assuming it will still work. You won't need it won't just be for the 6 and the 6 Plus and the 6S. It will be backwards compatible, hopefully, to like the 5 and the 5S. I'm sure it will be. But there's no mention about that in this particular article. But the 5S is still new enough to Apple's not going to be abandoning that. I think it takes like 3 generations past it before the Apple begins to abandon the particular form factor. I think that's pretty much how they've done it in the past. Now, some of the other quick rumors here about the iPhone 6S. It's going to look similar to the 6 and the 6 Plus, but could be slightly thicker to accommodate a bigger battery.
See, and I'm okay with that.
Okay. You'd be happy if it was 2 inches thick.
Hey, if it lasted 3 days,
yeah, exactly.
Like the trade-offs have to be commensurate with the upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. The handset will also
really, Craig. What are you doing with this phone? Are you folding it up and putting it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Why do you need this thing as thin as possible?
I like a thin phone. It's nice.
But why? Why do you need it that thin? If it can be better, thicker,
no.
It's like your only qualification is it's thin.
Yes, I like that. It's
why? It's one thing.
No, yeah, but that one thing is really important. Size. I don't want the size of a phablet either. I like a smaller or compact telephone.
Okay, well, good thing you are in the minority again.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have our social media winner of the week, and Ben's going to tell us all about an exceedingly large cow.
Probably not that one. That one's just a picture. But there's a picture on the internet of a large cow.
Okay, and we'll talk about that maybe when we come back. We've got our social media winner of the week coming up. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I need a favor. You may not have anything to do with launching new products or new services at the company you work for or the companies you work with. So just in case the people there who are in charge of that aren't listening to Computer America tonight, please tell them about Bell Ringers. It starts August 31st as an hour-long Monday through Friday nationwide radio show on so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. 4 times each hour, a team of 3 takes the time to fully describe and explain something that's never been announced before, making it newer than news. And that same day, they send releases over 3 wires to traditional, online, and social media. Get full coverage on Slash Gear and more. Please, just ask those marketing guys to take a look at bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com. bellringersmedia.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now. Thanks.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Welcome back to the Computer America show. Sorry, just had a video playing there that I'm going. If you're watching our video streaming portion of the show, we're going to play for you a little video and we're going to talk about it because it's very, very cool. But before we get back to news and the video and all that good stuff, we have a new prize from the lovely, lovely people over at Logitech.
Yeah.
We have been giving away the glass touchpad for the longest time,
Mhm.
but everyone felt that it was time for a prize refresh. And so came along a little mouse.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to tell you about it right now. This, again, is going to be for the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. And that prize goes to Doug Waneka. Hey, Doug, congratulations. Doug wins the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. Now, this wireless travel mouse performs anywhere you need it to. Glass tables in your hotel room, shiny laminate tops, train and airplane tray tables, and even your jeans, thanks to its dark field technology. Pair up to 3 computers and switch between them with the touch of a button, thanks to its easy switch technology. Compact enough to take with you anywhere, this wireless mobile mouse is designed to help you make things happen anywhere, at home, at work, or on the go. It's about at $79.99, $80, and congratulations to you, Doug, as being our first winner for the Logitech MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. Congratulations to you. So, and we'll give away another one next Friday, every Friday. That's our new prize, and we're very pleased to do that. And again, check it out at our on our contest page at computeramerica.com. You'll see it right there. The link will take it right to the Logitech website, which displays it and answers all your questions about it. If you don't win one, you should just get one. Really,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very business professional looking.
Yeah. But very futuristic looking too. It does.
Well, not crazy. It doesn't have like spikes on it. It's like from the future.
No,
it's very professional looking.
Yeah, very professional, very nice looking. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna hit the play button on this video here.
Okay.
And it's a video from Megabots. Who is Megabots? Megabots is a robotics company out of, I want to say, Mississippi, that has engineered themselves the Mark II robot, which is an 11,000 pound fighting robot.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the flag capes, by the way.
Yes, they're billing themselves as very, very American. Awesome for 4th of July. And if you can watch the pictures, it shows some of its artillery, some of its hardware, and it shoots giant paintballs that just destroy cars and things like that. It's again 12,000 pounds. Awesome double squad inside to drive it and work it. But yeah, they what they've done, and this was posted about 3 days ago, if you haven't heard, was they've challenged Japan, because Japan has long had the upper hand in the international robot arms race. Because Japan was the first one to have a giant fighting robot. They've debuted it before. We talked about it before on the show. But yeah, theirs weighs about 9,000 pounds, and it's it has a better HUD, it has better software, it has face tracking technology so that it can lock on to anyone who is smiling for some reason. I don't know why. But Megabots, they have challenged Japan as an American company, have challenged Japan to a giant robot fight.
Oh, cool.
Think RoboJocks. And they said in 1 year we're looking for they're both looking to add modifications to each robot designs to make it combat ready, and I'm sure safe and somehow viable. Because really, just strap a flamethrower on one of them and you're gonna win. This is forget about any boxing, any kickboxing, any MMA, anything like that. This is the fight I think people really want to see, is 2 giant robots fighting to the death.
All right. Sounds intriguing. Are they going to televise it?
Well, the challenge was just issued 3 days ago. I don't think they've had any response yet, though it would be very, very cool if they did. And because yes, they both have giant robots, and as the video said, Japan, you have a fighting robot. America, we have a fighting robot. It's only natural that these two giant robots fight each other.
Can I make a prediction? Maybe we'll in the future, we'll when they get these, we'll get enough. They'll get something with boxers now. Maybe they'll have people subscribing, going pay-per-view to watch these fights with the robots. Could
Yeah,
be.
and then Real Steel is born. Who knows?
That's right. Remember that? That was a good movie. But did you ever see it? It was a good movie.
I did not.
Yeah, that was actually a very good movie.
But no, it's hopefully this comes to fruition again. They issued the challenge for 1 year from today, so that both robots can get all prepared and souped up. But you should definitely check each out because they both have videos online showing their capabilities. Very, very cool. If you're any kind of child of sci-fi and futuristic stuff, giant robots have been in your vocabulary for the longest time. And I think
Now
just as a
now that they're becoming a reality.
yeah, now they're a reality, and potentially within a year we could be seeing two of them fight to the death.
All right. If they make it available for pay-per-view, I might actually watch that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would. I'd watch it. All right. Well, we tease this story here. Mike Cermak.
And then watch like Japan just come out with like a Gundam and just destroy everyone.
Mike Cermak, our one of our correspondents, is on the first Wednesday of the month, has a Tesla. He's very happy with it.
Tesla.
That's what I said. Tesla.
I thought you said Tesla.
No, Tesla.
Ah, okay.
I know it's not Tesla. We had asked him this question. I said, when you go on a trip, you have to plan ahead because you don't want to be out in the middle of the road and you lose power, and then what do you do because you can't go to a gas station? And he said more of them are popping up, and he says now there's in the display on the Tesla, it actually shows you where the stations are where you can charge your car. Not all of them are superchargers. He said some of them have regular charges, but they still have them. He charges his at home. He puts it at night, and then in the morning it's ready to go again. It makes a lot of sense. For a fraction of the cost of what gasoline would cost. But evidently, Tesla, according to the story from Electrek, yes, says that Tesla has now installed over 2,500 superchargers. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about the growth of Tesla's supercharger network, because last week they activated 5 more of these things to bring the total to 453 stations and 2,519 superchargers.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. They've been expanding their network.
Remember, this was the big problem with electric cars. It's like this technology was available, but there wasn't really a good way to implement it because people weren't going to buy electric cars until there were enough charging stations to make them viable, and people weren't going to put in these charging stations until there were enough electric cars to make it cost efficient. And it seems like Tesla has been fixing that problem one supercharger at a time.
Yeah. By the way, I got distracted. I was looking at the in the chat room and referring back to the story about talking about the phones. Evidently, they had a spoof on Saturday Night Live where the guy had the world's thinnest phone, and he had a bunch of Band-Aids in his face and ears because he kept cutting himself. It was so thin.
Yeah, see, you don't want it that thin.
Yeah, you don't want it that thin, but that's pretty thin. And yeah, getting back to the story here. Now, according to them, people who owned the early Model S cars in 2012, they unveiled their own fast charging stations capable of charging the 85 kilowatt battery pack of a Model S in a little over an hour. And the cost was basically free to use for life.
Well, that was for the 85 kilowatt version.
Right. Now, the cost of accessing the superchargers is included in the price of the 85 kilowatt versions of the Model S, and owners of a 60 kilowatt Model S were able to enable supercharger access for $2,500. That's what, $2,500 for the year?
No, for the life of the vehicle.
Okay, so for the life of the vehicle, you spend $2,500. So you just basically got to put that in the price of the car, and then you get free power for the life of your car. You don't have to buy fuel anymore. That's it. So $2,500 is about how many tanks of gas?
Well, let's see. I just filled up on mine, and that cost about $40. No, yeah, about 40 bucks. So, let's say a month, someone fills up twice a month, and that's about $100. So let's say, about 20 years.
Yeah. No, that's only if that's $1,200 a year times 2 years, that's $2,400. So that's 2 years worth of fuel for a regular.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I had 25,000 I had for some. No. Yeah. So that's about 2 years, and of course this is electric, so it's much cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So continuing on with the story, now of course Tesla discontinued the 60 kilowatt Model S and replaced it with an all-wheel drive version with a 70 kilowatt battery. All models now offered by Tesla includes supercharger access. So when you buy a new car now from Tesla, basically you're getting free fill-ups for the life of the car, according to this story. Of course, nothing's free.
Well, that's old news.
Yeah, that is okay.
That's not the point of this.
All right. Well, anyway, 2014 was an impressive year for the growth. And basically, they wanted to get more and more supercharger stations out there in the network. And in 2016, it seems like the Tesla would be doubling the number of superchargers by the end of that year. Now, this month, Tesla officially inaugurated the Drummondville supercharger in Quebec, California. What is it? The director of the infrastructure was present and confirmed that Tesla plans on expanding the supercharger networks past 2016, and they're showing a map here of the U.S. And it looks impressive with all those little red dots, but the distance between those little red dots are
well. If you actually look at the map, though, you see lighter areas.
Yeah,
and that lighter area around each dot is showing you the distance a Tesla car can go after supercharging.
Yeah, but still,
they pretty much have the entire continental United States covered.
Yes. Still, though, you can't just be carefree and go about where because basically you can get gas anywhere. You can't. You still have to do some planning. You have to be careful.
Well, yeah, that's just because it's still relatively new technology, or at least, sort of new. Like even in Asheville, where we spend time, we've started seeing electric car fueling stations. Like it's not that uncommon
in the parking lot of shopping malls, what have you, and it's free. By the way, you can use them for free. There's no charge to use them. Pun intended. But you can get the charge for no charge. How's that? So
it works.
Yeah, it works. So there it is. So it's only going to get better. There's no question about it. The one thing that I'm worried about is standardization. We have to be careful because the Tesla ones might not work on other electric vehicles, although there are going to be converters, I would think. I think
that's not something that I think a lot of people are worried about, because if you plug it in, Tesla right now has a higher threshold than any of the others. Like you might have a problem with plugging in a non-Tesla electric vehicle into a Tesla power station, because it might deliver a higher wattage than it's used to. But the other way around really doesn't matter. And I bet, again, smarter people than you or I, or a lot of people have thought about this system, and I'm sure no cars are exploding as we speak.
No, that's true. I'm sure they're going to come up with something. Interesting picture of the evolution picture. They showed the early old gas pumps, how they looked, and how they evolved to the taste pump, and then the next pump is the Tesla supercharger right next to it. There you go. So if you're thinking about getting one, just feel comfortable that there are more and more places are going.
And again, this is just starting. They've just established 2,500 of them, right?
Yep, exactly.
So
be a lot.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, it is exactly. Okay, we have time for a couple more stories. What do you want to do?
Let's see. How about this one? This one's gonna come into effect for a lot of people tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
And this one is from CNET's. Let's see, an author here, Lexi Savides. And the article is titled "How to Take Photos of Fireworks."
Yeah.
Whether you use a smartphone, compact camera, or DSLR, there are some tips to take great photos of fireworks. And the first one is to set up. Get into position early for the best results. Scope out the area beforehand and work out where the fireworks will be set off and can have the best vantage points. It's also handy to figure out how well the wind is blowing so you can avoid the smoke, and which can affect the look of your photos. Very clearly.
Yeah.
The next is your equipment. And it's saying here that, if you're a true photographer, go get a tripod. A stationary camera is going to make your pictures come out a lot better. It will reduce any kind of minimal blur that it can come from your hand movements as you take the photo. And they even have a stock photographer here suggest that bring a flashlight, which works in two ways. You can use the flashlight to help you see the camera's menu in the dark, but also as an additional light for your frame. I don't know what a flashlight is going to do, but hey, this is for everyone who's going to be taking them. I'm sure a lot of people out there taking pictures with your smartphone. And once your smartphone is stable, there are a few options that you will want to tweak before taking the photo. The most important is to turn off the flash. So don't use flash when taking pictures of fireworks, and make sure the HDR mode is not active. If your default camera app has a night mode or even dedicated fireworks mode, which a lot of cameras do.
Yeah.
A lot of cameras do. Enable it for better results. Set and lock your focus if possible using an AEAF option, and take some establishing shots to work out the exposure.
Okay.
Very clearly. For everyone who didn't know all this. And, it gives you a few more options of, a smartphone has a manual exposure option in the default camera app and will give most control. I believe iPhones don't do that yet. Maybe the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus do, but most iPhones don't have that option. DSLRs, you're going to want to do that as well to extend the exposure rate just a little bit, or extend the shutter speed. So that you get like a little bit more light coming in.
There are apps that you can get for your iPhone to do that, but natively it doesn't. But the apps will allow you to do that.
Yeah, and there's some more tips if you're using a DSLR or a compact camera. But I think we just want to focus on the smartphone aspect of it, because that's technology enough for us. And we think a lot of people are going to pull their smartphones out at the fireworks display, and instead of sitting there enjoying the fireworks with your family, they're going to be looking through the screen of their smartphone trying to take a good picture so that they can remember the time when they weren't making good memories.
Yeah. I remember seeing the very first fireworks option on an Olympus camera way back when. And I said, it was like state of the art. Nobody had anything like that. The Olympus had that. They came out with a mode on their digital cameras that would take pictures of fireworks. Just a little nostalgia there.
Yeah, there you go.
And speaking of nostalgia, according to Ars Technica, vinyl records are still riding that big comeback wave. The sales of vinyl records are up 38% in a year. Can you believe that? There it is. Not sure what is causing the resurgence. Vinyl LPs sales are up 38% year to date, and according to the Nielsen's ratings, vinyl sales now comprise nearly 9% of physical album sales. Who's buying a physical album anymore these days?
More and more people, according to the article.
Yeah.
Hipsters really are, I think, the leading cause of this.
Could be. Well, what is it? Taylor Swift with her album 1989 sold 33,500 LPs.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she's to blame.
Maybe she's to blame for the increase in traditional vinyl.
Yeah. But there is an interest in it, no question about it. And you can still buy record players. They still sell them.
They have even modern ones. There's actually one where you stand the record up vertically, and it spins itself, and and the needle touches itself, but the record stands vertically, and it just kind of spins on its side.
That is kind of cool. I haven't seen that in a long time. Matter of fact, the only record player I ever saw did that was for 45s, not 33 to thirds. So they made a modern version of that. That's interesting. And of course, you can still buy these super elaborate, expensive turntables for to play, but they cost thousands of dollars.
Or go into your grandparents' attic and go steal theirs, because they probably have some sitting up there. They're like, oh man, we're never going to use those again. Records are dead. And all of a sudden the grandkids want them.
Man, you see, it becomes something, a desired option. Exactly. So record sales are up. We're not sure exactly why, but again, according to Ars Technica,
hipster. It's some kind of, it's the opposite of a smear campaign. It's an inflation campaign where people say the true way to listen to music is through vinyl. Vinyl is going to be the ideal music platform because everything just comes out sounding so much better. It's some kind of established audiophile propaganda.
Yeah, that analog is better than digital.
That analog is better than digital. Less noise, less buzz, comes out sounding more creamy, whatever that means.
Pops, the clicks and pops.
No clicks and pops and whistles and white noise, just pure music, folks. Listen to a vinyl.
Yeah.
Once you do, you'll never go back, apparently.
I don't buy it.
Are there any other good stories that we didn't hit upon?
Yeah, there were. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do it. Maybe.
Yeah, no, we might not. It's we only have about 2 more minutes before the holiday weekend kicks off. So, anything we should talk about while we have these extra couple minutes?
No, except obviously, I hope all of you have a wonderful 4th of July holiday.
Don't blow off any of your fingers. We like you completely dexterous.
Don't blow off any of your fingers. No, you don't want to do that. And make sure that
we don't want you to learn how to get to the Computer America live stream using your pinkies.
Yeah. That could be very painful. No, you don't want to do that.
Or your feet.
You have big 4th of July plans, Ben?
Personally, no. It's you should do a little bit of cooking, should do a little bit of yard work I've been, getting behind on.
Yeah, we can do ribs. Yeah, ribs. I bought some ribs today, and I had like 4 people in the checkout line saying, "Oh, that's such a great idea," and they said, "How much are they?" And
what?
I had people ask me how I'm in the checkout.
That's such a great idea. Who in this world has lived through more than one 4th of July and said, "Oh, ribs! What a novel idea."
Well, evidently, I met 3 of them because 3 different people
so
say,
weird.
It's a great idea, ribs. And they want to know the price of them. I said, well, I just doing the shopping cart. I let them look. I said, but there it is. But ribs are a good idea.
Ribs are like tradition. It's not even like a Craig original here. It's ribs. It's you put them on low. You forget about them for a couple hours. Get a nice rub. Right. Hopefully one that's cayenne pepper based, personally, and just let it slow cook. Ribs are a no brainer, and they're just delicious.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting.
Don't worry, folks. We'll be having veggie burgers for an appetizer.
No veggie burgers. Oh, jeez, you just ruined the thing I had going on here. Veggie burgers.
It needed ruining.
Yeah, it did. Who would ruin that perfect hamburger with a veggie burger? I don't know. Yes, exactly. Anyway, coming up on Monday, because we're gonna be back live on Monday. As I said, Gene Steinberg is going to be joining us. He's going to be talking about Apple Music. He's going to be in the first hour of the show. Gene is always a fun guest. He's one of our correspondents. He's an Apple expert. He's also a radio talk show host himself, and he will be on the first hour of the program. And in the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news. More of that. Brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And again, you can see all of the lineup, who's going to be on the show, at computeramerica.com. It's right there. You can see the calendar. All you have to do is go to the pull-down menu that says press releases and info, and you'll see it says guest calendar. It's the third selection of the pull-down menu, and you will see the live calendar. You'll see all the guests for the upcoming week and actually for the entire month and even into next month. It's a new feature of our website. We've just added it, and you should take advantage of that. And while you're there, look at under press releases and info. Or check out the press release. It's our big announcement with Bell Ringers Radio. The press release is there as well, and we invite you to read that. And again,
90 seconds.
Don't forget, again, our contests are all there. Our social media contests, it's up there. You know, it's real simple. You just go to all the different social media pages that we have listed there and just like them or subscribe to them. And each one gives you an additional entry each week. You only have to do it once, okay? And then you're registered. So it's just a one-time effort. And then every week, it's like money in the bank. You know, if you have 5 or 6 that you registered, you get 5 or 6 different chances every single week to win that Logitech
60 seconds
MX Anywhere 2 mouse.
You know, now that we're like 20 seconds away from the show ending, I realize now what we should have been doing.
What?
I had a chance to try out the I Love Odd Mini 6.
Oh, you should have.
And I should have given a nice little review of that, but I guess we'll save that for another time.
We'll do that Monday. Okay, we'll do that Monday. Anyway, have a great weekend, and thank you all for joining us here on the show tonight. And again, thanks to Cy from Solix Technologies in the first hour. Everybody have a great 4th of July holiday, and Ben and I will see you here on Monday night. So until Monday night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you Monday night.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
Oh, wait.
It's that leap second.
It's that leap second. Yes, exactly. There we go.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay. Again, thanks for everybody for watching us on our live video stream, and have a great 4th of July weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.